Call this to order. Let's have roll call vote. Roll call.
Okay. Smith,
Yes.
Glass,
Yes.
Stratton,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Ely. Yes. Spiller.
June 15 meeting minutes. Pretty short and sweet. Or pretty short. Any additions or corrections? Here's on the motion. Move on.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Roll call vote.
Glass,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Ely. Yes. Smith,
Yes.
Stratton.
Yes.
June financial statement. Those.
Well, kind of hit some of the highlights. Cash at the end of June, had about $332,839. In CDs, we had about $404,802. Throughout the year, finally looks like we will collect $649,530 and expend for encumber, $765,500, $600 for the year. We did expect to spend more than what we were bringing in, that meaning we went into our reserves. But that was the plan when we went in. Revenues were down because of sales tax. There's about $150,000 in sales tax that was not collected because we didn't receive that much. But we did reduce our expenditures by about 100, and from budget, we reduced our expenditures by about $120,000. So we spent about $120,000 less than what we were planning on spending. Some of that is because of projects that we didn't do. Some of it is because of savings on some expenditures that we were planning. Just a variety of different reasons for that. I'd be happy to answer any questions, try to answer any questions you may have.
So we didn't do some of the projects we planned on doing?
Yeah, I think we had, we at least had a building that we were planning on.
Umpire building over at baseball, but since we did the master plan, we were going to wait on that
Yeah.
project. So,
That was the one building, that's the one project I can think of that we did not do that we had budgeted.
and I think some of our other things take a little bit lower than what we
Yeah.
expected as well.
Well, the concrete came in a lot lower than what we were anticipating spending.
If we had not done the concrete, we probably would have surplus. If we hadn't done the concrete, we probably would have taken in one more cement. If we hadn't done the concrete, we'd been,
If we hadn't done the concrete, we would have at least broken even. I can't remember what our concrete was, off the top of my head. But we could, we possibly could have been broken.
seconded to approve the financial statement for June of 2016. Roll call vote.
Glass,
Yes.
Hughes. Yes. Hanson,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Stratton,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes. Director's report.
Well, I've been working on some of those numbers for the master plan. The only problem I have there is I don't have specs for some of them. So it's hard for me to go out and say, hey, how much is the flashlight going to cost when I don't know how big we want it, don't know what all we want to entail. So I'm kind of just having to throw some things at me as far as this size will cost us this much, and that's just one example for the flashlight. But there are some other hiccups I'm running into because I don't know specs, some of the projects. So we're going to see what I can figure out.
Sorry, when we did that strategic plan with them and they did that outlay, normally they help us on that because they're going to fit it, you know, to fit for size for where they put it. So, I don't know, I just feel like they should play a bigger role if we.
So what are you going to do on that?
Well, we have not asked him to help us do that. I'm sure he would.
Well, because he would have made it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that we don't have specs on, you know, building expansion, things like that. There's some things like that we have not asked him for. I'm sure he will help us in any way that he can. We need to ask. Courtney and I need to kind of get together and see where we're at on it and how we feel in the blanks.
Well, that way you don't spin your wheels if he's got some of his answers.
Right, yeah, and that's, you know, kind of running a few roadblocks because of
Yeah.
the size. Next week we have 2 camps going on. We've got cheerleading camp, it's Monday through Thursday from 10 to 12, and then we have arts and crafts, which is Monday through Thursday, 6 to 7:30. Those 2 camps usually do really good for the little kids. Soccer signups, flag football signups are out. We're starting those. The school's starting a little bit early to kind of get that stuff out a little bit sooner so we can get the ball rolling on those. Other than that, everything's all good.
When's the deadline for soccer?
August 12th. August 12th. I'll text you. I'll let you know. That's all I have.
A couple of things I wanted to kind of hit on. One, I want to ask everybody on the board, are you receiving notifications, and does that system work for us? Because I'm having issues with other boards about not getting notifications of meetings in a timely manner. Some of those are through the mail. We are trying to revamp. If email works for you guys, ladies and gentlemen, we can continue that as our primary notification, but I would ask that you go, I think Troy is having an issue getting emails.
And I searched for it under your name yesterday, could not find it. I searched for it again under your name today, and it popped up. Even though it said it was 10 whatever yesterday morning when it was delivered. I'm like, okay. But my issue is we always used to get stuff and it was ARC or it was whatever, instead of a name that I don't recognize in my email. Or one of those names that I don't.
Probably
know
because Courtney,
get somebody's name.
Courtney probably used to email those out, and where it was weird it's coming out of it, just try to save the middleman. We've been trying to do that out of our office, but.
I mean, even if it said City of Alva, I mean, it's just,
Yeah, because I have no ability to anymore.
Alva, it's Angelica at Alva,
yeah. But it says Angelica, whatever, and like I said, when I see a name like that, I mean, I don't even think about it, because I'm flipping through too many emails to even register.
Well, what I
Because
also
those are the
do, like-
things that you automatically delete, or you have somebody sending you that.
What we can
spam.
try though is when I get
just kind of streamline it, and we're gonna have, if it's easier for you to send it out to everybody, we'll just send it to you, and you can send it to everybody, and everybody's got the same thing. We don't need us doing it, and then you redoing it, I mean, just do it once and do it. But if
And
that
that all goes in one
works,
packet now instead of an agenda from one place and financials from another place and the minutes from another place. I mean, it's all, when one comes out, you know to look for the other.
yeah.
But, yeah. So
So-
that's why I was checking with you last week. I was not sure.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that could be gone 5 days. I had 500 whatever emails to go through.
Yeah. But if it takes 40, we can forward one out to her, and she can just send it out to everybody. And that way they all say the same, we don't have 50, we don't have 3 or 4 different people sending out emails to you. And getting you bombarded, and if that helps,
Yeah, it's just, I mean, to me, it's just how who they come from as the emails sender. Instead of, I mean, if it was from the city of Alva or Alva Rec Complex, but from an individual is what I care for. Because
I
the
don't
names
know.
may change it, who it comes from.
Yeah, and I don't know how, I don't even know what, I just, when I pull up Courtney's name and I've got her email, I don't even know what it is.
Hey, mine comes with just out of recreation.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, yours is easy.
Yeah.
And we'll just have, from now on for this board, we'll just have Courtney send it out, for notifications. But that has been an issue on some other things, we're trying to get that ironed out. The other thing I just wanted to let this board know, so you kind of know what was going on July 9th. I scheduled it today, we're going to be having August 9th, sorry, thank you, Courtney. On August 9th, we're going to be using, the city's going to be using this room and the classroom across the hall, and we're going to be doing biometric wellness scans for all of our employees that want to sign up for it. So there's going to be a lot of traffic out here during the day, on that day. Kind of one of those employee benefits that our insurance is going to pay for. Just kind of let you know, and you don't know what's going on. You see it. And, Chairman, that'd probably be all that I have at this time. That's not covering anything of these other items.
Okay, next item is the Northwestern contract for soccer and softball. Who wants to go over that as far as what that's different, or is everything?
Well, like
We got everything that we wanted.
Everything stayed the same, except that it's gonna be the lump sum of the 25,000. There were a few little,
There were a couple of things that Greg
Couple
suggested that
changes.
are in there, right?
yeah, a couple changes with Northwestern and the usage of our other fields, just kind of how they need to go about using those. So, everything else.
So you got a copy that I need to sign?
Angela.
You have it?
And it has been signed off on by the college also.
And it was approved by this board before, right, to do that, so we don't need to take action on that. other than
Well,
go ahead and sign it.
No, actually, we do need to take action on it, because we just, previously, if memory serves me correctly, we just we appointed a committee to negotiate the memorandum of understanding. The college has approved what the negotiations, we need official approval of that.
Okay, so we need to nominate, motion, not nomination, but then watch it in college. We need a motion from the people that helped put it together. One of you.
Make a motion to approve the college contract.
Second. That's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Glass,
Yes.
Feeny, yes, Smith,
Yes.
Yes.
Stratton.
Yes.
Okay, is this in Courtney, anything, the next one?
It's Joanna.
Joe Donna?
Well, we
They
already
sound
did
like
like
the
the
staff
but that's appropriate.
recommended it, but not your staff. And your staff. Okay,
Well,
so your staff recommended it, okay.
Well, this is, yeah. This is something that's been brought up a couple of different times from a couple of different people to me. I've done a little research on it. Right now for concessions, and the question is, should we contract out for concession operations for the facility? We currently, last year, based on the financials that we looked at, we received about $28,000 for concession revenues, and we spent about $25,000 on concession supplies. So that's about $3,000 to cover the labor that's there and overhead and everything else. So obviously, we're not covering our labor, overhead, everything else in the concession. The concession process. If we want, there are some communities that have contracted out for concessions. I've talked with them. It works relatively well, but there's different models that they use. One is that one community they put out a sealed bid every year for the year. Say you come in and pay us X amount of dollars and you operate the concessions, it's yours. We'll let you use our equipment. We'll pay for the electricity, we'll pay for the water, the garbage, all that, but it's your concession stand. You run it, you're required to be open on game days or whenever. That's the way some places do it. Some places, volunteer groups come in to do it for the profits, so that, you know, 1 week it may be Rotary, 1 week it may be the cheerleaders, 1 week it may be football players. But what they earn off of it, same thing, we pay the utilities, we pay whatever, but what they end up making off of it, they put in all the supplies, they keep, and they use it toward their programs. There's even been church groups that have done it in some of these communities. So I wanted, like I say, it's been brought up to me. I wanted to bring it up to this board to see what your thoughts on it were and how you would like to pursue it. If it's a sealed bid thing, it's pretty easy. I'll write up a bid specs for it, turn it out, and mail it out to local vendors that may be interested, and see kind of what we get back.
What's your thoughts? One last headache?
Well, at certain times of the year, yes. I think during our basketball season, it's not as much of an issue as it is during our big tournaments and things, because we don't have the personnel.
You talking about during basketball tournaments or baseball?
No, during baseball tournaments.
So
Baseball,
might be
softball.
something you just want to do for soccer and softball, baseball.
And it may be
Not the gym.
You know, and that may be something, if nobody's interested, maybe we can back it back down to just tournaments. You know, because with our baseball and softball tournaments, trying to take care of the fields and trying to take care of, you know, if there's any injuries, trying to keep up with the trash and running the gate, and, you know, that takes a lot of people. Then we also have to run the concession. Whereas in the gym, you know, during basketball season, I've got the staff that do that because I don't need as much help in the gym like I do on ball fields. So, I mean, it's, you know, whatever is best. I mean, I'm good with it.
Sounds like it's not a problem.
No, I think that if we do keep any part of it in-house, that part that we keep in-house needs to be evaluated and the prices need to be set accordingly.
Why is it a problem? Why can't it be a problem? Is it We spending too much on this?
Right now, it's basically, I don't know how Courtney sets her prices. But it's, what we're buying it for, we're just barely covering what we're buying it for.
And there are things that we can up our prices on because, everything is going up. And when something raises on us, then we do raise, we'll raise it on the other. Now, our concession is probably the cheaper of any concessions. I mean, I've had several people say that. So, if it doesn't work out where we don't get anybody to bid, then we need to turn around and say, okay, let's see what we need to adjust.
I've brought this up to Joe on the past just because my best experiences, if you look at Kingfisher, we get a contract out of the concession, and then somebody takes ownership in it, and they're there all day, there's good food, And so also, one of her hardest things at that time frame is personnel. And so it's not profitable for us, and she's short people all the time, so if you can contract her out, you're at a headache, plus come out with a little bit of profit. I think you should. Woodward kind of does something good because at one point in time, I went over there, Dairy Queen did it, and I don't know if you'd be interested, but the thought would be maybe a Sonic. That would be really cool. You want to do that?
Well, that would be we would send it out, if we were going to put together a bid proposal, bid package, and send it out to area vendors, we would certainly I'd send it out to all the restaurants. I mean, that's their business. And, I'd say that we have a flat fee, and, you're going to kind of similar to what we're doing with NWOSU this year, you pay me X amount of dollars. We don't have to mess with trying to figure out, a percentage of profit or a percentage of cost of goods sold or anything like that. You pay me a dollar amount. And whatever you make above that is yours. You operate in the service. But we need to reach and make sure that they are operating it all the time when we need them. The one thing that scares me about it, and it's the unknown, is that we have a tournament or a game that we need to open and nobody shows up to open it. That'd be my concern.
With doing it as a volunteer more than somebody's bid.
That's just you get paid up front, if they don't own
Yeah.
the contract, and
Yep.
Courtney has opened it back up, and they're done.
But Kingfisher, they just opened it up for bid, and a different family, probably every 2 years, you see a family, they were else teachers and coaches, but they work at the
Well, you
concession.
might have to go on as a rotors and that.
Sure.
So,
But if you open it up,
yeah.
I think you should.
And, they can sign the contract with,
Yeah, we'd have a formal document.
I guess you could put a penalty in there if fellows show on a major, you could make major events, and they don't show, they do a fee for not.
I think one of the things to do,
Contract breakage.
yeah, what we ended up doing if we did that is we would outline all the time they need to be here. We'd be pretty specific about it. We've got our,
so what happens on that day that they don't show?
and the concession stand is not open, and we have to figure out what we're gonna do from then on out.
Somebody makes a bunch of money selling Gatorade out of the back of the park.
That really never happened, all the time, the 5 years we were in Kingfisher, we asked a lot. But maybe it's something, what would you want them to have to suffrage if they did that? So put a surrender in the contract saying, you have to pay me $1,000 a day if you don't show up to reimburse me for my homework, since I have to go buy all the food to do that for the day. And then they'll think twice about not showing up.
They either won't bid it or they'll.
It's gonna be hard. Baseball and softball, because you reschedule games all the time, So,
Yeah, there's games that are scheduled all the time during the week.
I know how hard it is trying to keep up with the department, who's playing when.
There's times we'll have cancellations the night up, 5 o'clock that night, hey, we're not playing. Or, hey, we're changing to the next day, and I don't have time to get a hold. There are some things that we run into, but.
And we just need to make sure whoever's that all that is disclosed up front, and they know what they're getting into when they put in their bid.
If we just bid out the tournaments, and we did the individual games and the basketball stuff, how does that affect our profit? Do we make money by buying all the stuff involved?
We don't have any problem.
Well, I mean,
We would have to sit down and see what we were spending and evaluate what we were selling it for. Treat it just like it was a Sonic or a McDonald's or Cookies or Champs or anywhere else. We know what we've spent on it. We know the labor that's working. What do we need to sell a Coke for?
Well, but then you gotta go, if you're gonna contract it out, Mary signed a contract, then is it worth the headache for her or whoever to have to go get, little bits to see what I mean? I mean, if you're gonna do it, just get rid of it for her, so she doesn't have to go to Walmart to that crap. I think.
And you,
We can put in the contract, everything for the soccer and baseball and softball fields, leave out the gymnasium.
Yeah, if you want basketball, you can just leave out basketball, but if you didn't want to mess with it at all, then you would do it all.
and my thought is, the only thought I would have is that if we're going to bid it out, bid all of it out. And don't try to cherry pick it, at least for now. Bid it all out and get somebody to see how it works. Now, next year, we may have to, we may have to reevaluate. We may not get any bids, and we'll have to reevaluate. That's always a possibility.
Well, if you're functioning at a loss, anything would be better than what.
I think, definitely worth seeing if it's going to work. And see if anybody is interested and see if it's worth it.
We made 3,000 last year, somebody bids 5,000.
Well, I really bet though, if you look, I don't know,
Yeah, that's
if you
about
came out
it.
then on
So that-
supplies, so
yeah,
then if you
so
look at,
we really didn't
your
do that.
overhead, I don't know what you're running there, but they're refrigerator, I don't know, you do not be hard to break down.
No, you'd have to, you break it all down, labor alone, through a year, we're spending more than $3,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without getting down into the nitty-gritty, the nitpicking of it.
Well, this is a discussion item only, but
Yeah,
it sounds like if you would bring us a legal document to look at.
A bid, if that's what we'd like to do, let me put together a bid advertisement, a bid solicitation, and have that on the next agenda for approval. And we
Good with
can,
that?
Yeah, so let me ask you this though, starting soccer, do you want me just to go ahead and plan on, when are we looking at starting something like
well, when soccer starts,
September?
we can't, I don't think we
That's
couldn't
what I'm
get it
saying.
done by
I mean,
September.
So you want,
Yeah, you're gonna have to,
do we want to just say maybe yes to the soccer season, maybe start it with basketball in November, because we're only talking like 6 weeks of soccer.
that would be fine. You and I can sit down and work those details out.
Okay.
On when we start it, and when we'll have to talk about schedules and things like that.
Somebody to put bid in on it may want to say, okay, we're gonna start with spring sports next year.
Yeah, or we may want to start it on, do it on a volunteer basis.
Do we have a lot of stuff left? Do you have a lot of stuff to sell? Like, do you have a lot of stuff left?
Well, we start weeding it out because we quit ordering after a while. Because your pop doesn't stay, it will expire and stuff, so.
Like a question is, do we have inventory that would come off the cost?
I do have some inventory, yes, in my concession, that, the pop and stuff, I don't have that much on because that expires, at Gatorade, I've got, frozen hot dogs and hamburgers. Yeah.
I think my thought is probably try to go through all of that first and see, it's hard to know which one to go through, but I would wait for you guys to take it in and have all of this.
Well, the deal is we can start using it up now, and if we say that we want to do this, that we set it up, it's bid out on a calendar year basis. We've got until December to use up, and we know when we're going to quit, and if we need to order anything, we can order accordingly.
Right.
Yeah, and do it that way.
So,
But I'll put that solicitation together and bring it back to the board. Of course, with Courtney's help, but, we'll move forward with it that way. Since that was discussion only, I guess, I did have one other thing, I just remembered from the manager's report. If we can revisit that. All right. Well, Courtney, Greg, and I met with Matt Tucker last month about the conditions of the ball fields. We are putting together a bid proposal for maintenance of both the baseball and the softball pods. So that once Courtney and I have that ironed out, we'll bring that back to the board also. Right now, it's looking like what we do, at least advertise to get the maintenance done. All the maintenance would include fertilizing the fields as needed, twice annually, or as needed. Top dressing both softball and baseball pods. Removal and replacement of dirt along baselines as required to establish grass. In the areas which it is required to reseed or sod to maintain or reestablish grass, and repairing broken sprinkler heads, valves on the ball field. We would also include establishing and maintaining a seasonal mowing schedule for both the infield and outfield on the softball and baseball pods. And then as a separate bid item, we would include the installation of a water irrigation system for the southwest baseball field. One of the things that I was looking at doing, just so we could have it broken down and kind of itemized, one is having them price out just the softball maintenance, just the baseball maintenance, softball, baseball mowing, and then the irrigation system. That way we can kind of go through and say, okay, this is too expensive, let's line out, we can mow. This is too expensive, we can do something else. And kind of give it, we've got some flexibility in how we accept those bids.
I think you know my opinion on it because I'm all for it, but I wish that you would come up with a total dollar amount that you're willing to spend or that fits into the budget, a total dollar amount that you're willing to spend on all of it. And then once you have that, then you can have it bid into it. But I still don't feel like if somebody were to walk in here and even if it were a heck of a deal, and said, we'll do the whole thing for $20,000 a summer, right? Until we know what our overrun, until we know what our budget.
Well, we can sit down at any time and figure out what it's costing us to do it now.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
And that's what we would evaluate.
I'm all for it.
That's what we would evaluate it against, is to determine if it was too expensive or something. What is it costing us to do it now? And according to Mr. Tucker and some others, we may not be doing it adequately.
Well, we don't have a so-called
We don't.
maintenance.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I had told.
Actually take care
That was one of the other things that Courtney and I talked about in conjunction with this. How much is it going to cost to bid it out? What do we need, equipment, manpower, and everything else, for us to do it if we wanted to do it, and how does that look?
So, yeah, so I think if you guys come up with your number, when you say, hey, here's what it's costing us to do it, but here's what's short and here's why, and if we had to do that, just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you can come up with a ballpark of your number.
Well, we can do that. We can sit down and say, hey, this is what it's going to cost us to do it,
Yeah,
the way it ought to be done.
yeah.
I mean, because I think we're some equipment short, and there's a lot of things going into it. This is what it's going to cost us to do it in-house, and this is what somebody else is willing to come in and do it for. What does that look like?
Yeah, for instance, I just look at like, everybody needs an HR person when you run a company, right? Is it cheaper for me to hire my own, or is it cheaper for me to contract out already, right? But I know budget-wise, on my end, before I go to get somebody else's.
And you know what you're willing to pay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys figure out.
Yeah, we gotta figure out what, if we're determining if it's too expensive, we gotta, we gotta know what we're willing to pay.
And what you're paying them.
Yeah. And that would be part of an evaluation before a recommendation would be made. But at least this would start the development and getting that, what is it going to cost somebody else to come in there?
Yeah. But
I think we need to get the ball rolling.
I'm all for
We need to get
I like that it is split, mowing
Yeah.
or field or pond. There's a flexibility. Step back.
Yeah.
But still almost need to be the same person.
I agree,
Doing both
100%.
jobs, because that, you know, guys mowing, gonna blame on the fertilizer guy, the guy that fertilized
I
the other
agree.
guy that didn't get it mowed.
100%.
And,
We do need to split it up, but still might need to be the same guy.
yeah, and I don't have an issue with that. I mean, that's, yeah, we wouldn't want to, a guy may build in more for the maintenance than he does the mowing, just because that's the way he does his business, and you don't want to try to split the deal. That's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to see if we need to do something to control our aspect of it. Maybe it gets down to it, and we've got mowers, and we can do the mowing, it doesn't cost us a whole lot extra to do the mowing, but, you know, somebody else can come and do the maintenance aspect of it. Yeah, just a whole lot of different scenarios, but we need to look at all of them.
Itemized it with an overall perspective.
Yeah.
And yes, bring us a recommendation on
Huh?
that. Bring us a recommendation.
Yeah, I'll bring a document to you on that. We're working on that right now.
Of course, that actually hit into the new business that we were ready for. Any other new business?
I maybe regarding inquiry,
Okay?
maybe if we're done with new business. This is just a thought, I just thought, throw this out of court and everybody else. We've talked about concession stands are inadequate and the heat. Why don't we think about closing the north-south road in between the baseball and softball fields, closing that road, building a new concession stand there that's air conditioned with nice bathrooms. We can close the other concession stands up, do whatever we need to there for umpire rooms. You can either close those bathrooms or leave them, you may not want to maintain them. But, you know, it's not that much further to walk to there than it is to the center. You just have one concession stand to man. But build something nice. You know, some of these I've been to the different cities, you know, they've got it covered area inside. It's not, it's a breezeway, but it's covered. And some of the bathrooms are air conditioned, concession stands are air conditioned. And that's all part of the master plan, but I'd rather think about doing something like that. Then we got one concession stand to man as opposed to two.
And it's big enough to work in.
Yeah, and do it right, instead of like it's done. And then you've got buildings that maybe have to retrofit for your umpire building, it's already in place. Just a thought.